I got an idea.
We're starting. FIU win, bro.
Hey, how's it going? It's the Panthers.
Oh! You like that?
We like that, don't we? Oh my God, Kevin. What did we just witness? Final score in double overtime. FIU 33, Sam Houston State 27. One of the craziest FIU games I have ever seen.
There's
Okay?
Bryant's, and then there's this.
We thought the overtime winner against Louisiana Tech last year was crazy. This took it to elevate. Yeah, I'm still shaking.
I'm shaking, brother.
I'm still shaking. The amount of times autocorrect had to save my ass when making those posts on Twitter and Facebook, insane. Okay, Kevin, breathe in.
Hey, we have a game to analyze.
Breathe out. So let's start. Let me go to the play-by-play here.
We could just start at minute 159 left in the game, where
Yes.
Keywon.
Well, first of all, can we talk a bit about that first touchdown for FIU in the third quarter? That 15-play, 80-yard drive. How good FIU's offense looked on that drive specifically. I believe it was Keyshawn Owens, the 13-yard run at the end for the touchdown. And then after that, punt, fumble, and a clutch field goal by Chase to send it in overtime. But still.
How about Chase? Shout out Chase. He redeemed himself.
So, okay. So that drive from FIU was great, that touchdown. The offense struggled ever since, except for when it mattered the most at that final drive in the fourth quarter to send the game in overtime, which I'll give them credit for, right? We can complain all we want about how bad the offense looked. But at the end of the day, their best drive came when it mattered most, right? Yeah. It mattered. The most important drive of the game, FIU's offense looked phenomenal, right? It looked amazing, and it sent the game into overtime, right? And look, before we start any further, okay, we have to give a lot of credit to Sam Houston State, all right?
Yeah.
They played their guts out, and in a lot of respects, you can say that they deserved this win, more than the Panthers, maybe, even. You could say that. You can make an argument for that. FIU's defense also adjusted, by the way, in the second half. You got to give them props. Ever since Sam Houston State's first touchdown in the second half, it was punt, and then a field goal at the end. Pretty much similar situations. Both defenses adjusted. The offenses struggled, but both teams did. Sam Houston State did just enough to take the lead at the end, and then FIU did just enough to tie the game. Okay, so that's the third and fourth quarter analyze. Sorry it's not that long, but there's something else we have to talk about, and that was that overtime period. So, Kevin, I'm sure this was exactly the same for you. My heart rate and my excitement was through the roof the moment this game went in overtime, because I'm sure, just like you, we thought the game was over. We thought there was no way FIU was going to come back with like a minute 30-something seconds left,
especially on the 4th and 18. And
yes,
again, you tell yourself, Keywon is running the ball.
What's going on?
So many attempts.
Surely Sam Houston State's zone defense is going to stop an 18-yard run from Jenkins.
I don't know what to say. Like, oh my God. This is maybe the longest game I have ever watched. And again,
is it weird? Because I thought the game was.
This needs to be clear, Jake.
Yes.
This is 0-6 team. That, again, the record doesn't speak for themselves. Well, 0-7 now, but record doesn't speak for themselves. But Jesus Christ, this was a sloppy game for FIU.
It was.
Look, but as you said, when they needed to get their shit going, and I don't care if this is cursing, because this has been the craziest game of all time, they've gotten it going.
They got it going, right?
My God, Keywon looked great in that final drive. Keywon just tossing it up for Eric Rivers, Chris Mitchell. That fourth and goal, I thought he was in on the third and goal, and then I think FIU tried to call a timeout. Something happened, but whatever.
Yeah. Okay, damn it. Gosh darn it, Kevin. I forgot. Okay. Oh, yeah. So what I was going for, but all our blood pressure, our heart rate, our excitement was through the roof the moment Chase Gabriel hit that field goal at the end, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me for you how much it sank the first play of overtime for Sam Houston State. They throw a dot to the end zone. Actually, it wasn't a dot. It was a handoff, and they go to the end zone. My heart sank like a brick.
It sank, but like at the same time, it was like they're in their own 25. They have a decent chance of coming back, and obviously, I mean, they did, but it took a lot.
And then, FIU's first offensive possession actually started off good, right? A couple of passes, get the first down, get close to the goal line, and then it takes what 2 or 3? What do they call it? The brotherly shove, the tush push, whatever you want to say it. It took like 3 of those to get it done, but they got it done.
It shouldn't have, but it did.
It shouldn't have, but you know what? That's why you play the game. Anyway, so we go to double overtime. And again, double overtime is interesting because you have to score a 2-point conversion if you score a touchdown, right? So FIU gets the ball. And FIU ripped the play from Sam Houston State's playbook in the opening of double overtime, and they scored the touchdown on the first play. Again, my excitement was through the roof, but the moment they failed that 2-point conversion, it kind of dropped again because I was like, uh-oh, now Sam Houston State has a chance to win if they score a touchdown, obviously, the 2-point conversion.
Shout out to Pac-Man, Donovan Manuel.
Dude, it wasn't even just, again, shout out to Pac-Man, but dude, the stupidity of Sam Houston State on that final drive, the penalties, the quarterback taking sacks. You look, the quarterback, the game is on the line. If the pressure is coming, you have to at least attempt to throw or just attempt something. Throw the ball away so you don't lose the yards, right? But he took essentially 2 straight sacks to close out that game. And give all the credit in the world again to FIU's defense. Did they start off slow? Maybe. Did they absolutely corral the rest of the way? Yes, they did. And just like that, I had the post ready for Twitter and Facebook saying, "Oh, final score from Huntsville. It's an FIU loss. Yada yada yada." I was ready to post. I was ready to post that on the 4th and 18, right? The 4th and 18, I was like, all right, this crap is over. Thank God I didn't post it. I was so close to doing it. And then Keyone, that has to be one of the dumbest college football plays ever, right?
One of the best ones, too.
Great for FIU, but it's just a college football play. Leaving a quarterback that much room on 4th and 18 so we can granted, Jenkins is a fast as hell guy. He was able to run 14 yards without a soul within a COVID 6 feet distance away from him.
And he on top of that, he runs out of bounds, stopping the clock. I believe he did.
Yes,
I believe
he did.
I believe the clock stopped or something like that. But I mean, like that final drive before it's tied up, that may have been one of the best drives I have seen out of these 8 games throughout the season.
So,
holy shit, man.
I'm still, half of me is sad because I still have that feeling FIU lost the game, but the other half is just realizing that, oh yeah, FIU has come out of this game winners.
It's like, dude, and I was telling you this. I was like, this post-game show is going to be hot.
It's going to be spicy. We thought it was going to be spicy for all the wrong reasons, right?
Yeah.
We thought it was spicy because we were about to roast some people. And to be fair, there were a lot of things that you and I did not like in that second half.
And obviously, we'll talk about that. We'll talk to Coach on Friday.
Yeah.
But there's a lot not to like about this game.
Yeah, but
Keyone really just didn't look like himself throughout 3 quarters of the game.
There was that one. I mean, we had talked about the screen pass and how horrific it was being used by FIU.
And this is where I go to you.
There was a 3rd and 12, and they did a screen pass.
This is where I go to you.
Yeah.
Like you do all these screen passes throughout the entirety of the game, and okay, there's obviously an explanation for it. These guys know a lot more about football than we do. But
of course.
But And obviously it's overtime and you have an explanation, but why weren't you making these plays earlier? Chris Mitchell was snagging these, and Eric Rivers, I believe, had the first one.
And
Why
just the
wasn't
2-minute
this,
drill offense, by the way, at the end of
why
the fourth
wasn't this
quarter.
happening earlier? That last drive of the fourth quarter, why didn't this happen throughout the majority of the game? We would be talking about Keywan with probably over 300 passing yards, a couple touchdowns. FIU would have not probably smacked Sam Houston. It would not have been a 33-27 victory.
In the other drive, it was it began like near the end zone, right? Near the FIU end zone. And they did 3 straight runs. Granted, there was like 5 minutes to go. By the way, the third quarter flew by like immediately. I thought this game was flying by the whole way until overtime when it slowed down a bit, obviously. That drive when FIU's offense did 3 straight runs and gave the ball directly to Sam Houston State with prime field position, would set them up for the field goal to take the lead in the end. It was stupid, right? Well, silly thing to say. It was dumb, right? In my eyes.
It wasn't what you would have done.
No, right? I mean, 3 straight runs is ridiculous. Start off with a pass, start off with a play action, do something different, right? But to rely on the same play 3 times, I still think it's crazy. But at the end of the day, and we have to keep going back on this, when it mattered most for this team, for their offense to actually play their best football, it was with less like a minute 30-something seconds to go, and they actually did it, which I'm still blown away.
This is the second most amount of points they've scored all season.
Yes.
This is now matching.
What was it? It was 39 against North Texas, or
36 or 38.
30. Okay.
Anyways, it's still the second most. FIU head coach Mike McIntyre now matches his win total from 2022. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, congrats, Mike.
Very well earned. He definitely has one more in him. Hopefully 2 bowl game. But now your schedule doesn't get much easier. You have a very good Jacksonville State team. You have a very good Arkansas team, no matter, despite the record, SEC team, Power 5 school, doesn't matter. And then you have Middle Tennessee and probably the runner-up in the CUSA championship game, Western Kentucky.
And if FIU
I'll say this. If FIU somehow manages to beat Jacksonville State, I think they're making the bowl game. They'll beat Middle.
Fair. That's fair. Because I think out of all those 4 teams left, I think Middle Tennessee is the most beatable.
They've been good.
In my opinion. We'll talk about this more on our preview show next week. But out of all those 4 teams, I think Jacksonville or Middle Tennessee is even on the road, I believe, which I believe it is. Still think they can get it done. It's going to take a lot of guts to beat Jacksonville State. And obviously no one's giving FIU any shot against Arkansas. Yeah. But that's why you play the game.
I guess some final.
But I will say, I will say, if FIU plays for the most part how they played in this game, though, they're not beating any of those teams.
They're not.
They're not.
So I guess just to wrap it up, we've been on here for a bit.
Let's go over the stats real quick. So
Keyshawn Owens, 60 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
Jamarta Lawrence, 47 yards, 1 touchdown. I believe back-to-back games, both of them score a touchdown.
Yeah.
You would have to go back to UTEP, but Key1 is you were going to mention 26 for 38, 190 yards, 1 touchdown, 68% completion.
No picks though. No picks. No, he didn't throw a pick, which is pretty
picks. Cool. Yeah. Chris Mitchell, 75 yards, 8 receptions, 1 touchdotion.
And Eric Rivers, catch of the night too for Mitchell.
Eric Rivers, who we're going to talk to on Friday, 6 receptions, 50 yards.
That's already like confirmed.
We will be talking to him on Friday. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Jalen Bracey, 5 receptions, 36 yards. Dean Patterson, 4 receptions, 20 yards. And
by the way, shout out Shoemaker for Sam Houston, 306 yards, 2 touchdowns. He balled out tonight. It was not enough at the end for them. But I almost forgot that Jenkins fumble though.
We haven't talked about that.
You want to quickly bring it up?
Yeah, so that's where I left my recap off. With 1:59 left in the game, and on a 3rd and 7, the Panthers decided to throw the ball, and that ended up being a mistake.
It wasn't even a throw.
I don't even know what happened.
Look, We've seen that. We usually see a stupid play like that happen a lot when it's raining, when the ball's wet, when the field's wet. Sometimes the ball can fall out of your hands. I think that actually happened in an NFL game.
Obviously, we'll have a lot more answers on Friday, so
at least he can answer that with a smile on his face instead of a
yeah. I was gonna say
that
Friday's gonna be pretty fun.
So that's great.
Yeah,
and he's looking at some other stats. Funny enough, FIU, which usually does not control a time of possession, they actually did that tonight. 31 minutes with the ball compared to 28 for Sam Houston State. Still, aside from that, I mean, Sam Houston State edged out FIU in first downs, total passing yards, just total yards in general. However, much to the chagrin of Sam Houston State, they committed 8 penalties. And, the announcers were talking about. I think the announcers actually did a good job. Those Lowry seasonings analogies and the
let me stop you right there. I think those two guys are alumni of Sam Houston State. I'm sorry.
In the same way that when there's
the bias was wild.
Bias was wild.
When Q1 lost that ball, and that's going to come up again on social media.
I'm sure it's already on like Barstool and
But I'll tell you this.
I'm sure you follow
those
that.
Guys were celebrating. Those guys were celebrating like they just won, like they got like a bonus at the job or something. But anyways, still a fun game.
But still, 8. That was probably the downfall of Sam Houston. The stupid penalties that just helped out FIU.
Especially in overtime.
Yes.
I mean, they had that it was like second and goal, and they just go all the way back.
Yeah, right. So, Sam Houston State again, 0-7 for them. Obviously, they weren't going to get into a bowl game or anything like that anyway. But still, they were a good team. They were obviously good enough to contest FIU and make it a double overtime game. But hey, I mean, Sam Houston was favored. So if you took FIU money line again, you're dancing your way to the bank, man. And look. Yeah. I think that's going to be the motto of this game for us, Kevin, for a long time. The offense performed its best when it mattered the most. And is that all you really want your team to do?
That's the case next week, man. They really need that win. They need to win that game.
Absolutely. That's what you want your team to do. Play the best football when it matters the most.
And they're
500. 30 seconds to go, we saw that. And in overtime, we saw that.
Yep, they're 500 again too, which is nice to see.
I'm going to need a stat check on the last time a game went into double overtime for FIU.
Louisiana Tech last season, which they won.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I don't even remember that game. I remember
FIU now improves to 8-6 all time in overtime.
That's a cool stat. It's a cool stat. By the way, again, Sam Houston State, for those who didn't know, they were national champions of FCS a couple years ago. And like Johnny said, one of the all-time winningest coaches. 0-6 is not a good look for them, but I think that's a team on the rise, and hopefully we'll have more battles like that against them in the future, because that was that not an all-time classic for this FIU team?
It was fun, but
it was fun. Yeah.
When you go back and you think of it, like, why are these classics against teams you should be smacking? Bryant and now this, like.
So what game was better, this one or the North Texas one?
This.
Okay, good.
This was. You could ask Johnny, and we won't be mentioning what occurred or what was said in this room. It was wild.
Alrighty, fellas. It's just about 11 o'clock. Hey, it's Johnny. Anything you want to say to the mic?
Anything. Paws up. Okay. Paws up. Paws up. Put your paws up.
The corporate people,
But what was the closest prediction? Was it Johnny's?
So it was 33. I think it was, just because you and I predicted the least amount of points. I think Johnny, what was your prediction? Do you remember?
24-17.
What was it?
24-17.
Yeah, I mean, I had 21-7. What did you have, Kevin?
21-13.
Yeah, so Johnny's was the closest, which makes me mad now. Now I almost wish FIU.
I'm mad. I said Sam Houston would win.
All I gotta say is this next week's game is huge. Huge.
It is.
Huge.
By the way, let me just quickly check who won that. It's still going on. New Mexico State beating UTEP 7-7, or New Mexico State tied with UTEP 7-7, third quarter, which is interesting. But it looks like they're about to score because it's 2nd and goal at the 6. So New Mexico State might. We'll let you know in the preview show next week for Jacksonville State. Kevin, once again, can you let the fans know who we got on the show next week?
Jeff LaCorey, baseball, FIU baseball.
Position?
Right field, outfield.
Okay. And that's going to be in person. What day is it?
October 23rd.
October 23rd. That is a Monday. That should be a lights out episode, man. I don't know.
Lights out! Lights out!
Lights out, baby.
Yes. All right. So, Kevin, it's a pleasure as always. That was a hell of a game. Final score, FIU 33, Sam Houston State 27 in double overtime. It's a Panthers win. It's been a while since we've been able to act like this, huh, Kevin? I've been praying for times like this, man.
You've never seen me like this.
So inspirational.
Paws up, baby.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. We'll talk to y'all when we talk to you. Paws up.